It's time for everybody's favourite podcast, the Monday Morning Podcast with Bill Burr. No, it's time for a very poor imitation of the Monday Morning Podcast with Bill Burr. It's time for the Non-Essential Podcast with Matty K. Day 24 of the Non-Essential Podcast. Day 24 of Lockdown 2.0 in Melbourne. I've just come back from the supermarket, which is, the highlight of as the motorbikes roar past again. The supermarket, which is the highlight of not just sort of my day every few days, thus making it kind of the highlight of the week. But it's the same for a lot of people. I dare say it is the highlight of our days and our weeks in lockdown, being able to go to the supermarket, being able to jump in the car and drive no further than 5 kilometres of where you live, a 5 kilometre radius. Which, I mean, is anybody like stepping that out? By the way, has anybody got one of those yard wheels that sort of map out, distance perfectly? I mean, does anybody really know? I mean, you can go on fucking on maps and sort of find out how far away things are, but at the same time, I have typed in a Coles that isn't the closest one to me, but it's I've actually got two Coleses that are closer and a Woolies, but there is this one Coles that I like to go to, and I haven't gone there for a couple of weeks, I don't think, but I type it into the maps, and it tells me that it's 4.9 k's away, and then when I sort of click on it, it tells me it's like 6 k's away or something like that. It's weird. Like, it tells me one distance one way, and then another distance fucking when I actually click on it. But anyway, what's going on? Yeah, so the supermarket was fun. I got to the supermarket just in time. I got there at 7:22. This particular supermarket is closing at 7:30, and they had I could only walk through what is like the designated exit point, because the entry point, the roller doors had been sort of closed. And I had to pull out my fucking my phone, look at the time, and be like, well, it's not 7:30, it's 7:22, so I don't know why these doors are closed. So now I have to go in through the exit. Sort of looked at a couple of people that worked there as I was walking in, waiting for them to say something, and then I would have, probably said what I just said to you guys. Well, it's not 7:30, your fucking doors are shut. I would have gone through the entry, but the entry's fucking closed. The shop isn't closed yet, though, so fucking, what do you want me to do? But anyway, I managed to go there and do my shopping and get the fuck out of there. And I got back, I did a couple of laps of the neighbourhood, no further than 5 k's, I think. Got back home, I think, with 3 minutes to spare before the 8 p.m. curfew came into effect. It's now 8:20. Oh, sorry, it's 8:19 p.m. I'm doing this a little bit earlier tonight because I got to get up a little bit earlier tomorrow. So I'm doing this now, so I can sort of go to sleep. I haven't been awake for very long either, so I don't know how I'm going to go getting to bed a bit earlier. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was thinking about this before, and I've thought about it a little bit during this lockdown, but I wanted to talk about it today. I wanted to touch on it because it's really the only thing other than me going to the supermarket that I have in mind to talk about, and we've only gone 5 minutes, so I've got to pad it out a little bit more. But the thing that I am finding interesting, I'm not surprised by it at all, but I'm finding it both interesting and hilarious at the same time. That the people that are complaining the most about this lockdown, the people that are complaining about having their freedoms and their civil liberties taken away from them, they're more often than not, they're young guys. They're also conspiracy theorists, And they're these young dudes that think they're really fucking hard. They reckon they've never committed a crime, not a serious one in their life. They've never, been in trouble with the police. They've never gone to jail or anything like that. But they think they're real hard cunts. And they reckon that if they went to jail, they'd be fucking sweet. They know how to handle it because they're a tough cunt. They're the ones that are crying the most about being locked up. It's like, if you can't be locked up in your home with all of your creature comforts for 6 fucking weeks, how do you really think you're going to go in jail for like a year? You don't get your fucking... I think sometimes phones and shit get smuggled in there, but, for the most part, you don't really have... You won't have your phone, you won't have your fucking laptops and your iPads, you won't even get the kind of fucking TV you want. You'll get certain fucking channels. You'll get newspapers, weeks late. But it's interesting. All these young dudes who think they're really fucking tough. They're so fucking tough. Just ask them. But they're crying like fucking babies over this lockdown. Like, oh, you can't do this. Let us out. We're not. We're free. You think you'd survive in jail and you can't last 6 weeks at home with everything around you. It's hilarious. But, that's young men, really. And I guess you could probably... let me get rid of my chewy. If I was a fucking 20-year-old kid, I could probably, you could probably accuse me of being the same. But it's funny how, a bit of... some years under your belt and a little bit more kind of life experience makes you realise how many wankers are out there, really, and how you may or may not have been a wanker yourself back in the day. So you can't really, it's annoying scrolling through feeds and seeing these dudes who can't handle it but think they're really tough. But you gotta just realise that, hey, if this shit had happened fucking 15 years ago, that probably would have been you talking shit, Sometimes I sit there and I think about, things I may have posted online, 10 years ago when I first became a member of, the world, basically, and and got, social media accounts and shit like that. Before that, I was just like a bear living in a cave. Hang on, I need to sneeze. I'm pretty sure it's not COVID, so don't just relax. But yeah, I think there's some things that I kind of probably would have posted that I now would take back and don't agree with, and actually think maybe the complete opposite now that I've either experienced things myself or actually done some research. So, yeah, you got to just, as frustrating and as annoying as it can be, I guess you just got to look at people and their stupidity for what it is, and it's just people that just don't really know any better, I guess. And they probably watch a few too many movies and TV shows and think that they're like the characters in these shows where everything works out for them in the end. I was talking about the Shawshank Redemption the other week. I was watching that. It was on TV. Andy Dufresne, he still got raped in prison. You know what I mean? So, as much of a sick cunt and a hard cunt as you think you are, you're just as susceptible to that in prison as just about anybody else. So, shut the fuck up, basically, is what I'm saying. But yeah, it's hilarious. And it's often the case with, sort of self-proclaimed and wannabe tough guys. They're just not tough at all. And I'm not sitting here saying that I'm a fucking tough guy. I'm just a fucking normal dude. But from what I'm seeing, guys like you post online, if you and I were to go to prison today, I'd probably handle it a bit better than you, because I'm not complaining or crying about spending 6 weeks locked up in my house with my fucking laptop and my blue microphone and my fucking audacity being able to create these podcasts. You got the world literally at your fingertips, you know, and in the palm of your hand, in your fucking smartphone. Like, Google some shit, you know what I mean? Learn some things. Download some games. I've downloaded some games. I was talking about this the other night, but I've downloaded a few more. I'm probably going to get rid of the chess game I downloaded because it's not that good. And it basically, like, sort of, I went to play the computer or the phone the other night, and it was basically like, it was telling me where to move and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, is this actually me playing? Are you going to let me play? Or are you just going to fucking take the reins and play yourself? You're telling me where to move to win the game. I don't want that. I want to be the one that decides where I move. I don't want you having little arrows pointing to where I should fucking go. Like, what's the point otherwise? Downloaded a crossword game. That might give me a little bit of joy, but at the same time, it'll probably give me a lot of headaches. I was half asleep playing it this morning, and it was frustrating me because I wasn't getting some words, and I was like, you motherfucker. But that's crosswords, isn't it? Crosswords can be a very they can really take a toll on you. Crossword puzzles, they can really fucking aggravate you. There was a word search game as well that I downloaded. They're a little less stressful than a crossword. I don't mind a word search. I've still got my pool and my snooker and my Trivia Royale. Downloaded a golf game, but it's not really that challenging, so I might get rid of that too. But yeah, you know, these are all the things that you could do in lockdown, fellas. Rather than crying online about how, you know, like, what would you be doing anyway if the world was fucking normal? You'd be driving around like a wanker in your fucking V8, in your hotted up fucking car that you fucking lowered, and, you know, you got your fucking music just fucking pumping because you want everybody in the fucking suburb that you're in to know what kind of fucking music you like, and you got your sunnies on probably and your fucking arm with your sleeve tattoo fucking hanging out the fucking window. That's all you'd be fucking doing anyway if life was normal. You'd be fucking driving around like a wanker. So, anyway, I think I've made my point. Look for that particular video blog too. I might actually just single that topic out and make a proper video blog or vlog, whatever the fuck they're called, about it. One that won't go for 15 minutes like this podcast has gone for. Well, it's coming up to 15 anyway. Yeah, talk to you tomorrow.